Did you know that you have 6 superpowers? That you were born with 6 superpowers? Yes, 6 superpowers. 6 higher faculties that, when developed, are superpowers. You see, most people live their lives by their 5 senses, what they see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. The problem with that is that's living from the outside in. That's allowing the outside world to tell you how to feel. And so then you're subject to everything that's going on around you, to what people are saying to you, what people are doing. And that is absolutely not the way to live. The way to live is using your higher faculties, those 6 superpowers, using your imagination. Think about imagination, how powerful that is. See, everything that's created is created twice. Once in someone's imagination, and then in the real world. Someone has to think about it first, and then create it in the real world. Imagination is one of the most beautiful powers that we have. You see, the mind, the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real or imagined. It can only accept what the conscious mind gives it. And in the conscious mind, you can use your imagination to picture what it is that you want, and then feel as if you have. How would you feel if you already had it? And then so that feeling state, so your imagination and your feeling states, that you create your world, and that invokes the law of attraction. So you get it with, again, using that imagination, and you can use your imagination to feel what it's like. How would you feel if you had that wish fulfilled already? And then you use your will. Your will is your ability to focus. So can you develop that will? Absolutely. And if you want, I'll show you how to develop your will. I'll show you how to develop your imagination. But with your will, you get able to focus to the exclusion of everything else on what it is you're going for. It's that goal that you created in your imagination. Because if you could see it in your mind and feel it, you could hold it in your hand. And I've seen it time and time again happen. It's happened with the clients that I've coached, with the clients I train in personal training, just with friends, and just in general. People doing this unconsciously. But you want to know how to do it consciously. You want to know how to do it on purpose. Because when you can, then you're able to use your superpowers. Another superpower is your perception. See, we don't see things as they are. We see them how we perceive them. And we perceive them through our own eyes. And that's determined by what we have lived. We use what's happened to us to determine what's going on now. So perception is so powerful, because if you change your perception, if you change the way you look at something, the thing you look at changes. It's so powerful, because there's always another way to look at something. There's always a better way to look at something. And if you develop, I can show you how to develop this power, where you then say, okay, is there another way to look at this situation? Can I look at this differently to serve me, to empower me? Because you can never solve a problem looking at the problem. You can only solve a problem looking for the solution. Because the solution's on a different vibration, it's on a different wavelength. And the only way to get there is to not focus on the problem, not focus on the challenge, but through your perception, focus on the solution. And you use your imagination and your will and then perception. You know what's another superpower? Your memory. You know, it's been said nobody has a bad memory. They just have an untrained memory. And there are books and programs out there that can teach you how to have a better memory. I went through them, and I'm able to remember. I've memorized phone numbers, credit cards, bank accounts. I never thought I could do that, but once I learned how, it's easy. And you could develop how to learn people's names. There's a way of doing it called ridiculous association. You just put that together with something ridiculous and make a picture using your imagination, using your will to focus on that. And then you can use your memory, you increase your memory. Another one is intuition. We all have intuition. I mean, haven't you just said, I just get a feeling about something, and that feeling turns out to be right? That's your intuition. Or you say, I really should give somebody a call, and then you do, and they're like, I was thinking about you. I'm so happy you called. I've been wanting to speak to you. Intuition. And you could develop your intuition by using it, by following it. And then, of course, we have reason, your ability to think. It's been said that most people don't think. Matter of fact, only about 2% of the population thinks. 3% think they think. 95% of the population would rather die than think. And you know that's true? Just listen to what they're saying. If they were thinking, they never say what they say. They would never talk about what they don't want. Most people focus on what they don't want by talking about it. Stop doing that. Stop talking about what you don't want. Stop talking about your problems. That's your problems. You're talking about your problems. You focus on your problems. Stop it. Use your ability to reason, to think, and start thinking of the solutions. Think of what you want. Think about how you want to live. Think about the career you want to have. Think about the money you want to earn. That's the power. And you have these 6 superpowers. They're in you. Everybody's born with them. Stop living life by your 5 senses. Your 5 senses just tell you what's going on around you. But you get to determine, using your perception, what that means. Because you can look at things differently. If your bank account's empty, you can have a perception that it's ready to be filled. It's just a different way of looking at it. But what a difference in thinking and feeling. If you feel that it's ready to be filled, it'll be filled. These superpowers are just incredible, and we all have them. Again, it starts with your imagination. Everything starts with imagination. If you can think about it, you can see it and feel it and hear, then you can hold it in your hand. Think of all the things that have ever been created. Think about this shirt. Somebody had to create this shirt. Somebody had to think about it in their imagination. Right now, I'm recording this on an iPhone. Somebody had to think of that. As a matter of fact, they keep thinking on how to improve it using imagination. And then with their will, the ability to focus on that, right? They're able to create it. So you got to be able to learn how to develop these things. I can show you how to do that. In fact, I just finished writing a book. It's called Your 6 Superpowers. Everybody's born with 6 higher faculties that when developed are superpowers. And so I could teach this to you. I could show you. I can guide you. There's no reason why you can't do this. It's very powerful stuff. And we all have it. We're all born with it. We didn't have to do anything to get it. We just have to develop it. And if you would take the time, and it doesn't take a lot of time, if you take the time to work on yourself, to develop these 6 higher faculties that I'm calling your superpowers, then you really can live the life of your dreams. It's one of the reasons why Bob Proctor said, tell me what you want and I'll show you how to get it. And it didn't really matter what it was. He could show you. Because he knew if you could use your 6 higher faculties, these superpowers, and he could show you how to do that and how to use them, then you can get it. You can literally get it. And there's evidence all around us. As a matter of fact, it's happening to you now and you're already using them. You're just not aware of it. You're not conscious of it. You're sort of unconscious competent. And that just means that you just use it and you create stuff like, think about vacations or even the car you drive now or the place you live in. Right? So with our will, we're focusing. If you focus on what you don't want, you're going to get more of what you don't want. So if you're right now, you're living in a place that you don't want to live, change your focus. Focus on what you do want. Use your imagination. Sit quietly in a room and think, what do I want? How do I want to live? How do I want to live? Where do I want to live? What kind of neighborhood, what kind of house do I want to live in? What part of the country? You know, I use my imagination to move from New York to Florida. And now I'm living here in a great place using my imagination. I didn't know how I was going to make it happen because my business was in New York. I was training people, personal training, exercise, and coaching people, mindset coaching, teaching stuff like this, teaching the law of attraction. And I use my imagination to imagine living in Florida, feeling how that would feel. And with my will, I focused on it. And then I used my perception to look at things differently to achieve these goals. And then I made it happen. You can make stuff happen for you. I needed a car. I didn't have a car. I lived in Manhattan. You don't need a car in Manhattan. Plus, a parking spot costs as much as an apartment, right? So it seemed like a waste. But anyway, in Manhattan, so I had to get a car. And I envisioned that and got a car. Brand new. 2 years later, I envisioned getting a new car. I got another new car. You know, you can do the same. I can show you how to do that. You know, I was living alone and I said, I really want to have a girlfriend. And I sat down in my imagination and I thought about, well, what kind of girlfriend do I want? What kind of person do I want to attract into my life? What are the characteristics that I want? And I wrote them down. And in my imagination, right, created that. Then with my will, I focused on it. And I used all those things, my reason to think, and to see how the universe is always working for me, not against me. See, it's change in perception. Change in perception. I changed my perception that yes, a woman like this is out there. And then who do I have to be to attract that? So I started to work on that. And then within weeks, literally weeks of writing it down, I attracted her. And then I attracted her in a way that was just, the odds were so against it. And she's terrific. My life is so much better with her in it. And she has those characteristics. Now I'm working on manifesting something else. You know, I'm looking to buy a big boat to live on. I don't know how it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. See, you don't have to know the how. You just have to have that vision inside here in your imagination. Now I point here, but the mind is not there. The mind is in every cell of the body, right? We always think of the mind as the brain, but the brain is not the mind. The brain is part of the body. The body is controlled by the mind. And on some future posts, videos, I'll show you a nice little image of the mind so that you can work with it. Because we like to work in images. But your 6 superpowers you're born with them and they're powerful and you can make everything happen that you want. So go out there and really focus on this, learn it. Contact me if you want help with it. I love teaching this stuff. It's really my passion because I know what it's done for me. Throughout my life, I've used this to really get great success in life. And you can too. And once you do it, once you learn how to do this, life will become a total ease. It will be totally easy for you. Not just simple, easy. And you'll feel like a superhero, a magician with magic powers. That's how powerful your 6 superpowers are.